and throughout the world. I read today that 1,000 people in India drowned. They're having horrible floods. Bangladesh, South Ontario, and of course, our Gulf Coast. But the stories that are coming out of people, what is it called? The Cajun, um, yeah, the Cajun Navy. I saw videos of lined up with their boats going in to save people. Just everybody just doing all kinds of heroic things, um, because they're the ones that make the difference. So we need to remember that's who we are. We're spiritual beings, and we're here all connected with each other. I thought this was a perfect video. This was sent to me this morning with my dad's friend is Bill Galbraith, and he's been my dad's friend since he was 4. One of his sons, Tommy, sent this to me this morning, saying this is what we needed to hear again. And Dr. Heather just told me this was made like in the late 80s. So what is it? Mid 80s. So we need to hear it again, because we are the ones, we are the people, each one of us. Our prayers have power. So we definitely put all the people on our prayer list, all the people that are rescuing people, all the people that are homeless. There's just thousands and thousands and thousands, and we help the way we can. And one way we can is to raise the consciousness and the vibration of the planet by being love. And also the video was about how everyone has a gift to share. And all those different people, some of them are not here on the planet anymore. Which brings me to Louise Hay, who passed away this morning. Her birthday was October 4th. Would have been October 4th. She would have been 91. Some of you were at my installation in 2003, and she came to that. I had the joy of knowing her, being a friend of hers for many years. We went to Russia together. We traveled together. We played together, had fun together. She will be greatly missed. She was a wonderful metaphysical icon from the 60s, when she had the hay rides in LA for the people with AIDS. She's just wonderful, wonderful person. So we can remember her with joy and with love. So good evening and welcome to Wednesday's Wisdom, practicing the presence. And that's why we're here. We're here to practice. Practice makes perfect. And we're perfect spiritual beings. There is nothing ill about us. There's no dis-ease. There's nothing wrong with us. We are perfect just the way we are. Perfectly imperfect. Being an expression of God as love, as joy, as connection. So we're going to start tonight. Our practitioner is Rick Dale. And he's just told me before the service that he's going to be doing everything tonight, every single thing. So he's going to do the opening chant, and then he's going to do the opening affirmative prayer to set the consciousness for tonight, and then he's going to share a demonstration.
Who's the light? I am alive, I am alive, I am alive in this world. I am alive, I am alive, I am alive in this world, and and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. We shine, we shine, we shine. We shine at the center of the universe, because that is where God is, and that is everywhere. And God is the limitless power, the wonder, the joy, the love, and infinitely more than anyone could possibly name. And that is our very birthright. We are made in the image and likeness of the Most High. We have been gifted with choice and with power and with goodness. And such a gift it is. And so what I know is that tonight some of us will share those gifts, and some of us will receive them, and all of us will meet perfection and fulfillment in the perfect fullness of time and space. And so I give thanks for this. My heart is overflowing. I'm so grateful that this is the truth of who we are. And I take these words now and I place them into that presence, into that law, into that love that always says yes and forever says yes. And together we say, and so it is. Well, my brother asked me for a treatment a while back, and I did it for him. And I'm not going to go into details about what it's about, but we don't talk to each other very much anymore. So it worked out good. What can I say? God works in mysterious ways.
The power of the word. I just wanted to read you just the first part of what Dr. Ken Gordon, our Centers for Spiritual Living spiritual leader, said about coming together with Houston. It says, our prayers and treatments go out to our brothers and sisters in all the rain-torn areas on Earth, including Bangladesh, Southern Ontario, and especially, of course, the Gulf Coast. We have been in touch with most of our centers in Texas and expect to hear from the rest of them sometime today. So as he said further on, some of the Centers for Spiritual Living in Texas and I believe in Florida, they're having concerts. Michael Gott is having his concert and they're raising money for the people that are flooded out. So we're doing what we can do because we, like I said, we are all connected. We're all one. And that's what it is. So now I'm just going to turn the evening over to our dear Reverend Karyn Allen, and she's going to introduce to us people because everyone has a gift to share.
Thank you, Judy. I am so incredibly blessed to have the ministry I do. I'm the creative arts minister here, and I just love the arts. I love anything creative, and so it has just been an absolute blessing. And as part of my ministry, I really take to heart the fact that everybody has a gift. Everyone in this room has something to share with the world, and if we've been given that gift, we are to share it. Otherwise, it's kind of a wasted gift. So that's the purpose of this evening, especially since a lot of us, I mean, I've seen a lot of your own talents already, but there are such hidden talents that we don't even know about. So that's the exciting part. So, so before we get started a little bit more further, just kind of close your eyes and think about the gifts that you have to offer. Some of them may be absolutely obvious, like singing and playing the guitar, and others may be hidden. So tonight, as you witness firsthand some amazing gifts by our own spiritual family, it may help you realize or bring to mind something else that you haven't already thought of. So this evening, we have a process. So I'm going to introduce the performer. I'm going to present a quote, and I have two rules during this whole evening. So after each performer, we are such a loving community. Everybody gets a rousing standing ovation, right? And then we get to affirm each performer. So we're going to say, wow, Rick, God as you is great. We'll all do that together. So we all in agreement? All right. Okay, so we're going to start with our first act. This is the first quote first, before I introduce her. Your talent is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift back to God. And that was Leo Buscaglia. Okay, so we see her on Sundays, feeding us with spiritual inspiration. We see her in classes, teaching us what we need to know to make our lives better. We meet with her one-on-one in times of need to pour our hearts out and to receive love, support, and prayer in return. I think we all know the gifts we have from our beloved senior minister. But some of us don't know, and some of us do, that she was the music director of a church for several years, and she can play the piano. Music is definitely in her soul. So let's give it up for our own Reverend Heather Dawn Clark. Wow, Dr. Heather. God as you is great. All right. That was beautiful. Thank you. We are each given gifts and talents from our master. The thing that matters most is how we use what has been given, not how much we make or do compared to someone else. What matters is that we spend ourselves. That was from Francis Chan. This amazing little being may be small in stature, but is so bright in consciousness. She kind of has a special place in my heart. She grew up in this teaching right here at the center, went through our in-flight teen program, and is now one of our teen advisors. Many of us have watched her grow up right before our eyes, and now she intends on becoming a practitioner. Something you may not know about her is that she is a writer. Educated at the Orange County School of the Arts, with her field of study being creative writing, she is now going to share with us some original slam poetry. Please welcome my baby girl, Kaylee Ellen. Sorry, Kay.
So this is a little short, but it's called The Comet. I want to stack stars like poker chips and slide them closer as I wonder how many wishes I can make come true today. Past the Andromeda, Vega, and Altair, there are wisps of stardust collecting forms of thought, and I imagine Hippostomus, Plecostomus, aimlessly floating in the absence of light, feeding on microscopic algae with its startled eyes and striped body. What happens after feeding doesn't surprise me. But why does it surprise me when I know this stardust recycles my thought forms in the same exact way? The ocean holds the stars on the surface of the water like glittering orbs. But those are stars I will never touch with these hands. Instead of treading those waters to try and reel in fishnets empty of pinhole lights, I let the galactic tide take me with the solar winds, past Neptune's rings and comets, where imagined colors and flavors are all that are to be had in the flatness of the two-dimensional dark. As I sit here in the vastness of the universe, I say, go and think, and return as a meteor to light up the world in a flash of convincing thought.
Wow, Kay. God as you is great. Ethel Waters said, "We are all gifted. That is our inheritance." The next performer is an extremely gifted man. He's who we call when we are in need of tech support. He's our resident, anything that has to do with computers or the internet guru, and is so generously willing to share his knowledge with all of us. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, just before Wednesday's Wisdom, he made a special trip down to the church just to make sure I got the streaming set up correctly, when he could have been at home having dinner with his family. Well, this brilliant, and he is brilliant, and funny and giving man who claims to be 98% chimp also has a very funny and unique talent he's going to share with us. So stand back. Here he comes, Darren McClure. Wow, Darren. God as you is great. Isn't that fun? See, who would have known? I don't spin plates myself. Benjamin Franklin said, "Hide not your talents. They for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade?" So you may see this beautiful woman on Sunday mornings with that radiant smile as she enters with her loving family. You may see her in classes, not only gleaning the wisdom of the instructors, but sharing her own incredible insights with the fellow students. You may see her in the women's group, providing sacred service and support to the women art community. You may see her with the kids in youth church, helping Reverend Patty teach the kids. Or you may see her walking around nature, taking photos with her camera. Just another talent of this awesome woman. And I just found out the other day that she makes incredible greeting cards. I mean, she's just so talented. Well, tonight, we get to see her as the thespian that she is. This one, who is usually not in the forefront on the platform, is now going to grace us with a monologue. So please welcome the other McClure, Lisa McClure.
I'm so happy to be with you here tonight, August 30th, 2017. My name is Florence Scoble-Shin, and I'm an artist, an illustrator, and, to be precise, a New Thought teacher. You may be familiar with my works, How to Play the Game of Life and Win, The Word is Your Wand, and The Secret Door to Success. After I departed this plane, more of my work was published. The Power of the Spoken Word was published in 1945, 5 years after my death. The Magic Path of Intuition was later found by a rare book dealer who sent it to a woman named Louise Hay, who published it in 2013. Seems as though I'm still pertinent. In this year of 2017, as I look around, much has changed and much has not. Political division, civil unrest, and natural disasters are not new to the human condition. But as we gather here tonight, we know that there are not two powers. There is only one power, God. And as we face fear, fear falls away to its native nothingness. And we know that goodwill produces a great aura of protection. And we know that there is peace on earth for those who send goodwill to every man. And that after man knows truth, he cannot be too careful with his words. I have a friend who often says on the phone, "Do come and see me and have an old-fashioned chat." This old-fashioned chat means an hour of about 500 to 1,000 destructive words. The principal topics being loss, lack, failure, and sickness. I reply, "No, thank you. I've had enough old-fashioned chats in my life, and they are far too expensive. But I will be glad to have a new-fashioned chat and talk about what we want and not what we don't want." So tonight, as we gather here together, we recognize that we are more responsible the more we know of spiritual law. The perfect idea of man is registered in divine mind and only awaits man's recognition For man can only be what he sees himself to be, and only attain what he sees himself attaining. I look forward to these type of new fashion chats with Louise, and I am thankful for meeting you all here tonight.
Wow, Lisa. God as you is great. Yes. Howard Thurman said, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who come alive. So you've seen him sing, you've seen him pray, you've seen him play some guitar, and of course, play those keys like it's nobody's business. You've seen him teach classes, lead conscious connections, and co-lead our practitioners. He's even been in the back of the room running the soundboard for some of our Sunday services. But did you know that he can cook? Here to show us one of his favorite recipes is Mr. Dave Friedman.
You guys hear me if I don't use the mic? What? I have to use the mic. How's everyone doing? How much fun is this, right? Nice job putting this together. This is great. So one of the questions is, how does something like this come together? It comes together from a long time ago when I was, I don't know, really close to being on the street, I guess. But I could afford a bag of onions and a bag of potatoes, and I had to make it taste good. So I started having a lot of fun with seasonings. More seasonings. So what I've done here, and I apologize for not being 100% ready, but there's one more thing that I need. Back after a word from our sponsor. So things happen, obviously, when you get a little inspired. And I went out to this place and had this coffee rubbed steak. And that was really good. In my opinion, really the only reason to go out to eat is to find something good that we can make at home. I was at somebody's house today. She said, the only thing I make is reservations. So I was working on this for a while, and I ended up with a really good coffee rub steak recipe. And it was so much fun, I decided to try it on other things. You can't really get a big, heavy thing like that and put it on fish. So I changed it for fish. And now I've changed it again for you guys. I'm going to start by showing you kind of how it works. And I've never made it for this many people, so good luck. Coffee. Coffee. I think every good recipe starts and ends with garlic. Right? Sometimes you want to put some, I don't know, some breadcrumbs. Sometimes I use those Triscuits, you know, those little square Triscuits. They're really good by themselves. This is one of my secret sauces. It's called Jane's crazy mixed up salt, stupid salt. But you can only get it on the East Coast. I've had the guys at the security go, "What?" But they let me through with it. A couple of kinds of pepper. You got to have a little kick. The idea is to get a little kick and get a little taste in here, but without taking people's head off. I also like to use a little white pepper just because it's a little subtler, than the black pepper. Smoked paprika. Yeah, right? Yeah. That's what I call the universal yeah. And this is just fun. Famous Dave's, right? Rib rub. So another idea behind the concept here is to kind of give it a kick, give it like some excitement, but not have it take your head off. I know it's just right sometimes if I'm cooking it and I'm sneezing because it's smoking in the kitchen. Pink salt, Himalayan salt, brand new one. Maybe I'll put some of this in later. And what else? Oh yeah, this is one of my secret cinnamon, right? Now I think that the real secret sauce on this one here is this. Make sure you add this to everything. What is it? Brown sugar. That's why you taste so good, right? Says Mick Jagger. So that, oh yeah. Chipotle. One of my faves. So, everything starts with garlic and ends up with chipotle. It makes for a tasty thing. And then, obviously, the idea is to really get it to be a single something. And then taste it. I think when I get some of that salt in there, maybe some more of this. Anyway, this is what this is all about. I will tweak this a little bit. I will make it. So part of what I'm doing here is just trying to find things that work together and put them on something that you wouldn't expect. How do y'all feel about being guinea pigs? So I'm going to take this in the back. I'm going to make it just so. And then I'm going to put it on tomatoes. And I'm going to flash fry it so that this gets a little burnt. So what we got is we got this all nice and tasty. We got the tomato all juicy and fresh on the inside. And then cover it with just a slight layer of smoked Gouda. I'm actually going to do that in the back. So when we're done here this evening, there will be a piece for everybody. And that's my thing. Table and go home now.
Wow, Dave. God as you is great. So we had originally planned for our dear Reverend Genevieve to come up here and do a little comedy act. Rick and I were really blessed to have attended one of her beauty pageants. It was a really fun afternoon, and she did this act, and unfortunately she's not feeling well, so we will have to catch her another time. But we wish you well, Reverend Genevieve. Okay. Pablo Picasso said, "The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away." So next we have a duo act. One of them is our resident music man. He can write a song like it's nobody's business. and can sing the heck out of a musical scale. He prays straight from source, and spirit moves through him like there's no separation. Beauty pours through his soul and shows up in all that he does. He serves our center with such love and carries out every duty with integrity and excellence. Tonight, he will be showcasing his natural ability of narration. The other is a multifaceted member of our choir. He not only can sing, and he plays the classical piano, he is a well-known and admired girls softball umpire at the collegiate level. He has been a loyal member of this center for over 25 years and met his wife, Barbara Klein-Roebuck, right here. They have now been married for 23 years. And this screaming umpire from Kansas has this beautiful and amazing ability to communicate with the hearing impaired. So let's welcome Rick Dale and Ken Roebuck as they present High Flight.
I first heard this when I was a kid. For those of you who are old enough, you'll remember when TV stations used to go off the air at midnight, they'd play something. Well, this was usually it. And so I'm going to give you a little background on it. High Flight. It was written by John Gillespie McGee Jr., who was the son of an American father and a British mother. He enlisted in the Royal Canadian Air Force in 1939 and became a pilot in 1941, flying Spitfires for the RAF. He wrote the poem, which is actually a sonnet, after a test flight in a Spitfire, during which he climbed to an altitude of 33,000 feet. I suspect that he had a transcendent experience doing that. Anyway, McGee was 19 years old when he wrote this, and he died in a collision with another aircraft only a few months after writing. So, High Flight. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
Wow, Rick and Ken, God as you is great.
Great.
Great. Carol O'Connor said, talent can be developed. Gift is God-given, but artists have both. And now we're coming to the grand finale. I think we've all seen the beautiful design and artwork of this incredibly creative woman over the years. Not only did she design this very platform, she has designed logos, invitations, and advertising for the church, as well as artwork, programs, posters, and helped with stage design for many, many choir shows. She once had an event at her home where she showcased a bunch of her artwork, all different styles and mediums, and it was just absolutely awe-inspiring. Professionally, I'm sure she has a long list of achievements, which does include freelance work for many of our own entrepreneurs here at the center. Tonight, we actually got to be a part of one of her infinite artistic talents that never ceases to amaze me. During the past, half hour or so, while we were enjoying these other gifts, she has been diligently at work sketching our beloved Hans Smith. I've seen her at work, watching bands or simply people watching and sketching them. And I can tell who they were just by simple line drawings. She is so incredibly talented. So, Karyn Meyer, are you ready? Yes. Hans has the talent of sitting well. Yes. Wow, Karyn. God as you is great. Oh, it's amazing. How are we doing on time? Are we getting there? So, you know, God moves through, and as each one of us, and as each one of you, as Pablo Picasso said, the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose is to give it away. So let's each one of us fulfill our purpose. Find our gift, fulfill our purpose. This is one of the great keys to our own happiness. I wanted to share something that really stood out for me in creative thought. As I was preparing this talk, it was a month ago, and it showed up in creative thought, so I thought I'd have to share it because it's just so apropos. Every person has unique God-given talents that find expression through a skill or passion. I, too, have natural gifts bestowed upon me, and the choice is mine, whether I express them in ways that bless and inspire others. When I keep my talents to myself, they do not grow or increase. When I actively express and give my gifts freely to others, I show appreciation for my spirit-led abilities. As I use my talents to help create a better world for all, I fulfill my purpose. I do my divine job to express the talent God has given me and follow my true calling in whatever form it takes. Let's take this opportunity to love on everybody who's performed tonight. Another rousing standing ovation. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Karyn. Yeah, let's do it. Wow, Karyn. God as you is great. Yes. What a great, fun night. Thank you so much. Oh, and I know that there is a lot more hidden talent here than we saw tonight. A lot more different things that people do. So maybe we'll have another one of these, get some new ones out. It's time for our offering now. Harry, would you come up, please? I also want to thank Harry and Gina for always being such wonderful support for the Wednesday service, always being on service. Gina's going on 14 years, and 14 years of being the sound. Wow, Gina! God as you is great. So as we take our gift in our hand, we feel that greatness. We feel that energy. We feel that vibration of love. For money is just another way for God to express, because it's all God and it's all good. And so please say with me, my offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and it symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. Thank you. Next week, Reverend Patty Mercado will be doing our Wednesday night service. And next week is the first Wednesday of the month. So we have a potluck. I invite you all to come and bring a dish to share. We have such wonderful times here. At 5:45, we start the potluck in the multi-purpose room. The service starts at 7. And Reverend Patty's topic is peace in the midst. And isn't that what we're called to do right now? In the midst of the chaos, find that peace that always is within us. And I'm sure she's going to expand on that thought right there. So I'll see you next week at the potluck and at 7 o'clock to hear Reverend Patty. And now, Karyn, we are having, Rick's going to do the closing. And what's the song? Imagine that. Let's all get up and hold hands. Karyn will do the closing.
Wow, Judy. God as you is great. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. There's no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I know someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I know someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
What I know is that each one here goes forth knowing, finding their gifts, and sharing it with the world so that we all may be joyful beings, peaceful beings, and all joined in love. And so it is.
Stick around for tomatoes.